Wheelchair curling. What is wheelchair curling? Wheelchair curling is very similar to able body curling. The rules are very similar as well as the equipment. It is played on the same ice with a few modifications. Rules in wheelchair curling. There will be 4 players on a team, including both males and females. Each player has a position: the skip, the lead, the second, and the vice. The skip will determine how fast and where the stone will be going, while each player will deliver 2 stones in every end. 8 ends will be played unless there is a tie at the end of the 8th end. In this case, another end will be played until there is a winner. The team who has the closest stone to the tee will score a point. The team may score as many points as closest stones they have. If a stone does not stop on the inside of the hog line, it will be removed from the play. The skip. The skip is the captain who will throw last. The lead is the first person to throw. The second will be the second person to throw, and the vice will be the third person to throw. The tee. The center of the house in the scoring zone. The house is the target in the scoring zone at the end of the ice sheet. The hog line is thick lines that are 21 feet from the center of each house. The end, or each round in the game, and the sheet is the ice that is being played on. Equipment. Stones are made out of granite and are concave on both the upper and lower surfaces. There is a handle at the top of the stone used to throw. There's the stick. A delivery stick may be used to throw the stone using the handle. Wheelchair. Typically, players bring their own wheelchair. Curlers can choose to have a post on the non-throwing side to hold on to for stabilization. Wheelchair anchor. The assistance of someone holding the wheelchair to prevent rolling on the ice while they are throwing the stone. Common strategies. There is no use of the lower limbs in the wheelchair curling. The curler's most important movement is to be able to twist the forearm to create a rotation on the stone. Athletes strategically angle the wheelchair, allowing for a reduction in the angle of the attack. The curler will then slightly rotate and push the rock at the desired force to reach the desired location. Strategies in blocking the other team and striking the other team's rock are dependent on each play. Many curlers will choose to set guard stones that are at the top of the house to potentially prevent the other team from being closest to the tee. Organization. Wheelchair curling is governed by the World Curling Federation. This federation made the rules and regulations for the game. In Canada, curlers play under Curling Canada. Curling Canada's purpose is to create more Canadian curlers and is the leading expert and growth engine for curling excellence in Canada. Membership. Local membership. Lethbridge has a wheelchair curling league that is available for all age groups and genders during the fall, winter, and spring seasons. There's not much on the website about this league, so you have to contact to get into it. Provincial membership. Wheelchair Curling Alberta competes just as any other provincial team. Yet to make the Alberta team and compete against other provinces, Wheelchair Curling in Alberta is under the same organization as Able Body Curling in Alberta with the same values. Not much information is given on this website as well, but also you can contact at this phone number. National membership. Curling Canada manages wheelchair curling at the national level. Canada has a national team that competes in the Paralympic. The team is named after qualifying tournaments that determine the best team. To play nationally, you have to be named to the national team for being the best in Canada, which brings you to compete against other nations. Origin of wheelchair curling. The origins date back to the 16th century when an activity that seemed to be similar to wheelchair curling was painted and being played on frozen ponds. So it was painted and they were playing on these ponds. The actual sport was not developed until the 1990s in Europe, but not brought into North America until 2002. Wheelchair curling was brought to the Paralympics in 2006 as it first appeared in Turin, Italy, when Canada brought home the gold medal. Rules seem to have remained the same since the beginning of the wheelchair curling, as it mostly developed the rules from able body curling. How I would introduce wheelchair curling. I would start by demonstrating this game in an indoor setting with the same ideas and rules, but in a gymnasium. would begin by demonstrating the idea of pushing the stone with the stick and trying to get into the house. After this idea was mastered, it would begin playing a game with more rules and playing in a regular round. This will then ensure that students have mastered the rules and the flow of the game before the extra challenge of the ice is added. I would then implement playing on the ice and teaching how to push the stones at the correct velocity, then before playing with the game with the full rules. After players have grasped how to throw the stone on the ice with the correct speed and rotation, playing a real game on the ice will be the final step to learning this sport. I added 2 videos to demonstrate how to learn to play this sport. Wheelchair eligibility. Wheelchair curlers must have some sort of lower body impairment to be eligible, such as limb deficiency, spinal cord injuries, cerebral palsy, and many other lower body injuries. The expectation for curlers is that they use a wheelchair in their everyday lives, not just to play this sport. Lower leg amputees are allowed to play after following classification rules based on their mobility. Classification is typically done through the local Paralympic committees. Players must undergo the World Curling Federation classification and eligibility process. After the process is complete, the athlete is then told if they are eligible to play or not based on the injuries that they have. To play at the national level, players must be Canadian citizens and be of a certain age requirement depending on the level they're playing. Framework for the competition. Competitions at the local level are held through the local curling club. In Lethbridge, Active Lethbridge, which is an organization, is who you would contact to begin wheelchair curling. Then the curling club would bring teams to locally hosted competitions. At the international level, the Paralympics are hosted every 4 years to crown a Paralympic champion. Yearly, the World Curling Federation holds world championship competition to crown a world champion every year. The teams invited are those who have won qualifying matches that then get to represent their country. Thank you.